Solving unprofitable problems. That sounds like the title of your new book, because that I love that. That's a perfect line. Don't go solving problems that don't turn a profit. That is perfect. And I think that
Yeah.
even though pizza has a whole different set of issues in other types of restaurants that you obviously jumped into and then figured it out along the way. But I think one thing about pizza is the fact that you can incorporate these types of systems because it's orders coming in over the phone or online. It's being made and then kind of just going out the door. You have that in a full service restaurant. You have that, okay, it's coming out of the kitchen. Now there's a whole
Hmm.
other set of systems that we need to put into
Yeah.
place to get it there.
Hmm.
And those two need to marry up. It's not just about systems. It has to taste good. And you wouldn't get there to 7 locations if it didn't.
Absolutely. And, we have been voted best pizza in San Antonio for the last 3 years.
Congratulations.
Well
Thank you.
done.
We are
Well
definitely
done.
going to talk about that.
Sounds good. I appreciate that. So I agree with you. The menu does matter very much, and making sure that tastes good, it's clean, it's efficient, and you're able to deliver to the customer. I'm not saying delivering the food to the guest, in whatever format it is, as fast as possible, because nobody got time to wait for their food. So we want to not compromise, the wait time versus all of that. Ultimately, when it comes to your menu, it's an iterative process. We have tweaked our dough recipe throughout the years, slightly here and there, and also with pizza, with the seasons, the temperature of the water, the moisture in the air, a lot of things could affect the dough recipe. So all of that, also recipes need to be written down. We need to make sure people are trained on those recipes. And so there's a big component on the training and the checklist. And also you need management systems. Management systems is you auditing to make sure people are following the systems, auditing to make sure people are actually following the dough recipe. So it's very common when you have multiple locations, which I think can be done if you're a one unit as well, is to have an auditing process in place. We do have a site audit that we do once a week. We have a person that goes to every 7 restaurant and checks a series of things. And it's always the same things. Obviously, the food safety, we want to make sure all the date stickers, the FIFA, all of those are happening, because that's very, very important. And then our systems are being used. Folks are wearing their uniform. If you do not have an accountability system in place and you just talk about systems and checklists, without the accountability, it'll go nowhere. It's just like
Yeah.
in a classroom, you have a teacher who talks one way. If there's no tests at the end of the semester, no one is going to study. It really doesn't matter. The only reason people listen to you as a teacher is because they want to pass the test. So if you don't
Yeah, they
have,
want to, they're holding them accountable at every step of the way.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
yeah.
and when I read the Pizza Today article about the feature that they did on your restaurant, you talked a lot about that, and I thought it was great. The labor, the consistency, the training, the culture. I guess for other owners listening to this, what advice do you give them if they are new to this, or they say, hey, they're looking at you,
Mhm.
they're seeing your success and what you did? As someone that didn't have restaurant experience, by the way, and I think that's also very telling, that you don't necessarily need to have
Mhm.
that experience to grow a really successful business.
Mhm.
Where would you recommend that they start?
So what I would ask folks to start is with an ops book. We do
Mm.
have an ops book. We print it monthly. It includes every day, different days of the week. So we can talk about it. One of the challenges with restaurants is that we have daily checklists. There are things that must happen on a daily basis. You got to gut the make line. We sweep, we mop, put the chairs up. These are daily stuff. Then there are things that happen weekly every Monday, weekly every Tuesday. And sometimes that's where the frustration is, because, we forgot to place the food order, or the schedule should have been published already, and it's already Sunday for next week, or those things need to go into an ops book. We have it like every Monday, what needs to happen, every Tuesday, every Thursday. So a manager, when they come on the shift, it's like a planner for your manager. What do you want them to do on a Monday upon arrival? If it really matters to you, it needs to go somewhere for this manager to walk around and sign off,
Yeah.
going through the store, checking all the prep levels. When there's a food order needs to come in, check if you're getting mats and towels and aprons, or all of those things are days of the week that need to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Our ops book is all the checklists go into one central, and we spiral bound it. You can staple it. It doesn't matter, get it from UPS printed. But that has been very helpful, because you need to make sure whatever you expect of your management team, it is clear. The reason this works, this relationship with accountability, because people would say that, that's too much. The reason it's not too much is because we're open about it up front. We train according to it. We walk people through the process. It's a step by
Smart.
step, you get to it. So expectation is managed from the very beginning. People know what they're getting themselves into. At Matenga's, if you move up, we're very clear about it. We're clear on our company values. A lot is repeated. We refer back to those systems, but OpsBook is what I would start with. If you have checklists here and there and no central way of managing all those checklists, you're always dealing with chaos. And your manager is like, oh, I forgot that. I forgot this. Like, it frustrates me a lot when people like, things, it's a lack of excellence when things slip between cracks. Like we can't have that. You cannot grow. You will not have a life if things are, all over the place. That chaos. So OpsBook is the first one I would start.
Yeah. I think that's really solid advice. And I think that it's like the winning equation to get everyone on the same page and to scale, because scalability is a huge factor in this. And if you're going to scale, it's like you've got to hone in on the operations and the business side of the business. It's like the stuff that, people love to talk about the food, and we have got a lot of chefs on the show that are really passionate about the food, but it's like the business side of it that really needs a different kind of brain and a different mindset.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Advice.
100%.
I'll often, you'll hear me on this when we do these podcasts about those that get into the restaurant business as I grew up in it, not understanding exactly what it takes. And there's this, I often say, romantic notion of operating a restaurant because you ate in restaurants for years, and I can just, float amongst the dining room and say hello to people. And you don't have that romantic notion. So I think you're doing what other restaurateurs very much struggle to do, which is take their love for restaurants and food and then but put that into a cohesive system.
And it is hard. It's a hard thing to do, but you have to evolve. Your role in your restaurant has to evolve. Like if I want a team member that starts as a busser and I want them to become a shift lead to hopefully become a manager, me as a restaurant owner, I must also evolve and stop doing things that are comfortable. So it'd be easier for me to do table touches. Now, we have 7 restaurants. I cannot do table touches. I must train our servers so they will do table touches as though I was there. But it's much easier for me to do it. But that easy and comfort zone is what keeps you small. So and if that's what you want, that is okay. It's not for everybody. If you're happy with it, sometimes I talk to restaurants, they have one location and they are happy. If you are happy, then that's fine. Be happy. If you are not happy, then just know that you have to evolve your role has to evolve. Like even me right now, I have always ran our marketing, all of our ads, creative, all of them. Now I'm evolving into hiring people for those. I still want to be somewhat involved, but I have to remove myself. So next year we can open 3 restaurants. I cannot keep doing that. So I need to figure out what do I want? Do we want to open 3 restaurants next year? Or do I want to still, hold the phone and create media? Do you know what I mean?
It sounds like you're training this, you have the right mentality and you're training the staff in a way that they can take over that so that you can spend your time doing other things.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Like the social media and the other aspects of it. So speaking of, you had a visit from Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. I'm assuming it's unannounced. He comes in, orders entire pie, and then walks out to the front, and he always is like, "Hey, Frankie, and then he always, so where are we again?" And he has to say where we are. And then he'll go, "Okay, I'm going to take one bite. Everyone knows the rules." And then, of course,
it's not one bite, though. That's
it's like 10
bites.
bites.
He always takes like 10 bites.
And he says it about 5 times. One bite, everyone knows the rules.
Bite,
and he
keep biting it.
He keeps eating. And then he gives a score. And so you got a very respectable 7.1 from Dave Portnoy.
And we can talk about it because that's
let's
not
do it.
What happened is, I happened to be at that, at that store that he showed up. I don't think he goes to multi-units. So it was odd that he came to ours. I think he was in San Antonio for the WNCA, what have you. And so we knew he was probably going to be in town. One of our managers that follows the sports had told me he may show up. But I happened to be at that particular restaurant of ours that he happened to come with my mother, who has not been at this like over a year. I've not been at our restaurant because our manager had just gotten terminated. They were not following recipes. They were not following procedure. So that's why I was there. So that dough was not even that good. It wasn't a Matenga standard. And so it happened that we were there, that he came in. His assistant, Austin, placed the order. It's just a regular cheese pizza that he places. And then so I came to the register. The customer walked in and I looked up. It was him at the register for that order. Overall, he was very, very nice to me. I think different people have different experiences. I think that if you're courteous, people are nice and courteous back. But he was very nice to me at that time, and he met my mother briefly. And so if there is a grandma and the family with an accent, that always goes places. If there's a grandma
Yeah,
around,
right?
people love it. But my
I
mom
watched
came
the
out.
video. He did mention, I knew it's a family place. I knew right away I was
Yeah.
going to like it. And okay, so he's got to come back then. Matenga's needs a second chance because
That's right. Yeah.
you were coming in there to change some of these procedures, and it wasn't up to your standards. So
You never know when you're going to have an opportunity like that. And you have to stay ready. You have to be ready for the opportunity when it comes knocking. One of them is like, for example, sometimes we go to San Antonio TV. So the time to prepare for that is currently with your social media. We briefly talked about social. You have to get in front of the camera, not because if that reel is going to do well. It's just that you
Right.
are practicing for this next level of business. What if you have to, local TV wants you on because they want to have local restaurants on all the time. And you
Right.
need to know how to handle yourself in front of the camera. You can practice that on a daily basis. Same as with Dave Portnoy. If I didn't, you have to be able to tell your story in 40
your story
seconds.
ready.
And
Yeah.
that is hard to do. So that just came out because of a lot of practicing and creating content throughout the years.
The demand for group and private events is at an all-time high. Is your business ready to capitalize on all these opportunities? With Restaurant as your booking partner, you can ensure event success this year and beyond.
With no booking fees or commissions, Restaurant has helped over 2,000 restaurants, bars, and breweries reach local event planners who are looking for a space for their next gathering. Whether it's a birthday, anniversary, graduation, or corporate event, Restaurant will get your space booked.
Try it today and receive 3 months completely risk-free by signing up at restaurant.com/podcast. That's restaurent.com/podcast.